It is the premier international series that brings together the top names that will figure prominently at the Olympics in Torino. And the second of 6 events in the series has brought us north of the border to the easternmost city in North America, St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada, the site for the ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating presented by Olay. Skate Canada underway here. Terry Gannon, along with Paul Wiley and Peter Carruthers. Susie Wynn joins us in just a little bit. Hopefully you saw the men's short program yesterday on ESPN2. The top group getting ready to skate here in the free skate. Jeffrey Buttle on home ice has the lead, not by much though, over the American champ Johnny Weir, with the veteran Takeshi Honda from Japan, the two-time world bronze medalist, rounding out the top 3. And we get underway here in the free skate with a name you may not know. Nobunari Oda, only 18 years of age. He's from Japan, and he is the reigning junior world champion. Also the 2005 Japanese bronze medalist, currently in 7th place.
Nobunari Oda is an exciting young skater, 18 years old. He has big jumps and bold skating, covers the ice very well, opening with a triple axel, triple toe, double loop, a whopping 13 base points. Very nice triple axel, triple toe, and double loop. Great beginning. Now the judges are also looking for these kinds of transitions, choreography. Roughly 50% of the score is skating components. Triple Lutz, double toe loop. He gets nice height on the second jump in the combination. The scoring system that the ISU has been using for 3 years on the Grand Prix will be in effect at the Olympic Games and the U.S. Nationals this year. So all the major events in the world are now under Dakota points.
It's funny, Paul, too, a guy like Oda, who's only 18 years of age, he doesn't have the overall experience, but he's one of the new generation really being brought up in this new system that is now going to be used at the Olympics. So in some ways, he has an advantage. He doesn't really have to make that transition.
That's right. It's a sea change in the sport, and you really see people, it's almost, they can't make the transition.
Oda's win at the Junior World Championships was the first for a Japanese skater there since 2002 when Daisuke Takahashi won in Norway. Takahashi, of course, the champion at Skate America. We kicked off this series in Atlantic City.
There's quite a story developing in the depth of the Japanese team, and an irony, there's only one skater that they get to send to the Olympic Games. So there's 3 guys, Takeshi Honda, Takahashi, and Oda, who are fighting it out right here on the Grand Prix.
Takahashi really the reason for that. Takeshi Honda really the reason for that. His injury at the World Championships and then his withdrawal. Your entries into the Olympics are based on what you did as a country the previous season at the World Championships.
He's starting to falter a little bit here towards the end, but a good save on the triple Lutz. What I like is that there's choreography throughout this program. David Wilson, who is also Jeffrey Buttle's choreographer, is very innovative and keeps it going, keeps it interesting throughout the program, although his programs look tough. At just 18, he has really got a lot of poise out here, skating very well. Good big jumps. No quad yet, but really solid triple axel and great combinations too. Here's his opening. Watch how the height doesn't change really between the three jumps. They're all three very high. Nice air position. Now he reaches back, good and straight. Look how high that triple toe is, and the air position on the double loop, very good. Good smile and a ride out. Later on in the program, he does a double axel triple toe. Little looser in the air here, and very good triple toe, nice and high. Just that stretch back, he knows he's at the top of his game for this time of year.
Yeah, he slowed down a little bit, as you mentioned, but that's a great effort for the 18-year-old who is the 17th descendant of a famous warlord, Nobunaga Oda, who's in the Tenno game based on him. Now, the cumulative point system, the total number at the end, the highest total number wins. There's the mark for technical elements and program components, the old artistic mark. So his free skate total, 133.24. You saw how excited he was early there when he heard his number. And once again, 193.08. That's the standard that he set. Still to come, the ladies. They're led by an 18-year-old from the U.S., Alyssa Cisney. She captured the silver medal at Skate America. Now she's the leader going for gold here in Canada. Back here in Canada for the second of 6 events in the ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating, taking us around the globe. From here, it's over to Beijing, then to Paris and St. Petersburg. Wrapping it up in Japan. You can skate a couple of times in the series, earning points. Top 6 in each discipline, making it to the Grand Prix final at the end of December in Tokyo. 6 events, 3 continents, and hope you're with us for the short programs on Sunday afternoons and Monday nights for the free skates here in this Olympic season. Nobunari Oda set a high standard. Here is his idol, also from Japan, Takeshi Honda.
Takeshi skating a program to Tosca, choreographed by Morozov. Might remind you a bit of Michelle Kwan's program. He opens with triple Lutz double toe. He was taken off in a wheelchair at the Moscow Worlds after his very first jump in the qualifying. So this is quite a comeback story. 3rd place after the short program. Coming up, a 3-jump combination, triple axel, triple toe loop. Up, he did 2 jumps, but still very difficult. 11.5 base value points there for that.
With this new scoring system, though, you've got to be cognizant of what you've done, what kind of combinations, because you got to think about repeating those jumps or not doing that later.
Terry, you're absolutely right. He's just done a triple flip, and now he has 2 combinations. So he has only 1 more combination that he can do.
Paul, you mentioned the injury last year, the ankle injury. He's had ankle injuries, it seems like forever, but they started bothering him back in 2002, and that was right after he won his 2nd world bronze medal. So he certainly is on the comeback trail, trying to get healthy and ready for the Olympics.
And he said some things that sounded like myself in '92, just that he has contemplated retirement just about every day, but this is his last season. Triple axel, very good you could see there's a passion in his skating that could be ignited by the fact that he knows that this is his last try. As we were saying, it's a lot to adapt to a new system. And the footwork here, not quite the most difficult. The judges will be looking for features and variations that will take the difficulty level up. They judge from levels 1 to 4. This year they added a 4th level. Now, upcoming is a planned triple flip. If he should repeat it, he won't get credit for it because he has to do it in combination. And then he would have too many combinations.
And that's happened a number of times in the series. Remember Yevgeny Plushenko at the Grand Prix final doing an extra combination and losing it to Emmanuel Sandou.
Exactly. Terry, you mentioned that it's difficult to adapt to a new system, and you'll see in the straight line sequence here the difficulty that's being worked on and added. It's very tough to have grown up in a system and now have to do all these extra turns and changes of direction. Well, Honda should be pleased with that. 2 triple axles.
We saw him win the Campbell's event recently to kick off his season, but this is his first effort in the Grand Prix Series here at Skate Canada. Takeshi Honda. And as you mentioned, Paul, with the new scoring system, you've got to pay attention to every aspect of your skating on the ice, not just the jumps.
That's right. They're judging the jumps and the spins and the footwork and the technical elements. The technical specialist will give that a value, and then the judges will grade it. Then the program components, the skating skills, transitions, performance, choreography, and interpretation are all considered by the judges.
And now the marks, he needs 125.17 in the free skate to beat Oda, his countryman. Not going to get there. Even though he was about 8 points ahead of Oda after the short program, there's your overall total, 191.80. Got to be disappointed with the number there. Takeshi Honda, the veteran.
He has one more chance at NHK Trophy at home to make that Olympic team.
Speaking of being at home, it's Emmanuel Sandou who will take the ice next here at home. He's the defending champ of Skate Canada. Got some work to do, though. He's currently in 6th. Back here in St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada, founded on the feast day of St. John the Baptist. Here's Peter Carruthers with more information about this city in Canada.
Overlooking the Atlantic stands the oldest surviving lighthouse in Newfoundland. This is a special spot. It's called Cape Spear, and it's the most easterly point on the North American continent. This is the place where you can usher in the new year before anyone else, and the sun comes up here first. But you got to pick the right day to come up here because St. John's has the wettest, windiest, cloudiest, foggiest weather of all the cities in Canada. But not today. We have lucked out. It's spectacular.
Yeah, Peter, it doesn't matter either if you're inside Mile One Stadium. You got the action on the ice here. Just under 100,000 people in St. John's. One of their own, at least Canada's own, Emmanuel Sandhu, 24 years of age. As I mentioned, he's got a lot of work to do here, though. Currently in 6th place, and more importantly, a little more than 12.5 points off the lead of Jeffrey Buttle, who he's battled for a number of years in terms of the Canadian Nationals.
But never count Sandhu out. Last year he came back from 7th to win Skate Canada, and there's quite a rivalry with Buttle at this point. His program, the toughest by far of anyone here at Skate Canada, he opens with a quad triple combination. 13 base value points. But remember, Sandhu can crumble. Quad triple. Little two-footed, but very good start. Second jump, triple axel. In the short, he fell out of both the quad and the triple, but no falls in the short. Tight air position, good landing, triple axel. Also known for his choreography, he is a classically trained dancer.
And that's why, Paul, when he hits his jumps on any given night, especially with a good start, and he gains that confidence, he's awfully tough to beat because the other aspect of his skating gains him so many points, the artistic side.
He's very proud of this program. He calls it a masterpiece, and I think that that gives him a lot of confidence. The music is actually an original composition. It's called Olympic TikTok.
I think that puts a little pressure on yourself, though, calling your own program a masterpiece.
I think it does, but it doesn't. It seems to be working for him. Now that triple Salchow, very well done, but he can make that a quad to compete with the likes of Evgeny Plushenko at the Olympic Games. Second triple axel here. He pops it into a single. But interesting the way he enters it with a spread eagle.
And that makes it tougher?
It does. And this sideways spiral, very difficult. He took dance classes all summer long. Triple loop, triple toe loop. Deep in the program. Remember, after a halfway mark, these elements are worth a 10% bonus. Still jumping, triple flip, very nice. This is the best trained I've ever seen Emmanuel Sandhu at this time of the year.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get out of Emmanuel Sandhu. So far, we're getting a good one here tonight.
This is great. With a quad triple, triple axel, some very interesting and difficult spins and footwork and components. This is going to be a good day for Emmanuel Sandhu.
He was almost 12 points off the lead a year ago. He came all the way back to win the gold medal at Skate Canada. Now, starting the free skate, he was 12 and a half behind Joy McLeod, who's longtime coach. Everybody else on their feet here in Mile One Stadium. That's a great performance, one of the best that we have seen in a long time from Sandhu.
And it started off right here with the quad triple. The air position, look at the way he gets up, tight in the air, very good feet, but two-footed here. So there's some grades of execution to take off of that. But then he reaches back and vaults up into a good air position there. Nice ride out. And this innovative move, a back spiral into a double axel, just shows you the kind of transitions that he's capable of. And those, again, getting credit from the judges. And then the upright spin with the stretch, reminiscent of Rudy Galindo. That began a combination spin that was very difficult.
Still getting used to what is a great score under this new system. Look at the best scores under the system here. Yevgeny Plushenko at the Grand Prix final in 05, 167.40. Sandhu right there, though, 152.74. We'll see if he even comes close to that. He needs 130.94 to take the lead. Technical elements, program components are huge,
Yes.
and there it is. Yep, that is absolutely enough. An overall 201.85. Emmanuel Sandhu has the lead. So it's one Canadian on top, another one yet to come. They're going nuts for Sandhu here north of the border. They'll do the same for Jeffrey Buttle, the guy who he's battled for the Canadian national title. This is the reigning Canadian champion and the leader after the short pro.
The Worlds experience last year was a bit unexpected, I guess you could say. When all was said and done, we were just sort of flabbergasted by, the fact that I was second place. Coming into the season as the silver medalist has given me motivation for my training. Just knowing that I'm that close to a gold medal at the Olympics is enough to push you pretty darn hard. I would consider myself as a thoughtful skater. Just the attention that I maybe give to details within the choreography, I've always pushed that to make sure that the attention that I'm giving to my jumps, is no different than the attention that I should give to the program. It's probably no big surprise that I want to win the Olympics. And then, of course, we have the World Championships in Canada, so it's a pretty big year.
The Worlds will be in Calgary. It was a surprising World Championship last year. Stefan Lambiel winning and Buttle coming in second. Right now, Emmanuel Sandhu has the lead. But Jeffrey Buttle on the ice was the leader after the short program, a lead of more than 4 points. Here's the 23-year-old.
Buttle increasing the difficulty this year, opening with a quad toe and then a triple axel, triple toe. He has 8 triples planned, difficult spins. Look for intricate footwork, great transitions. He is a new judging system skater. Always difficult to go to the next level, to break through. And this quad, which is first, would be a big step for Jeffrey. Fall there, but he's got to pull it together. The next jump, triple axel, triple toe, 9.2 base value. A little bit back on his heel, but he does the triple toe. He'll get some credit for that. program very dramatic, very classical, different from last year. Last year's was much more asymmetrical, rhythmic. Spread eagles here, increasing the difficulty into a triple Lutz. Double toe, double loop combination. Very good.
Even though he's medaled the last couple of seasons at Skate Canada, he really doesn't have great memories of this event. Last year, he led after the short program, just like this year, fell apart in the free skate and ended up third overall.
Well, I think in Olympic season, you don't want to peak too early, but you also want to get your stuff out there and ratified as high level of difficulty in front of the judges. Second triple axel attempt. He doubles it. And another pop. Popped into a double. These costing him precious points that he'll need against Sandhu. Uncharacteristically off balance in these spins. They're very difficult, and I think it takes some time to perfect the program. Triple Lutz. Oh, another fall. And it looks like he's ripped his costume there.
That is not a mandatory deduction, but the fall is at 1 point.
Now he could stop if he wanted to, and but he's choosing to go forward. I know I was that kind of skater. I wanted to, not break the rhythm of the program, but it's very distracting to have something go wrong like that. Falling out of a double flip is not Jeffrey Buttle. So I think it might be something more than just his pants that's bothering him. He's had a boot issue. His heel of his boot had come off before, and he had a bruised heel. Perhaps he's just trying to get through this. Well, not the best beginning of the season for this program, but it is the beginning of the season. And he's got a lot of events that are coming up, the Grand Prix of Paris, to make it right.
Well, he got through it, but bruised and battered, barely kept his costume on. You see it coming apart near the knee. Jeffrey Buttle, but remember, at least in terms of those that have skated, I mean, he was 12.5 points ahead of Emmanuel Sandhu. That's a pretty big lead over the guy who leads right now.
Well, let's see what happened in the triple Lutz. He reaches back and he jabs at it a little bit, falls out, not getting the right rotation, but it's right there that his blade slices open the right inner thigh of his costume. And it looks like he might have cut himself as well. Yep. That's why as a skater you need to keep your tetanus shots current.
Exactly.
And then here, the opening quad toe, the knee going through pretty decent air position, a little loose, just back on the heel.
Yeah, and then second axle.
And then here in the triple axle, triple toe combination, he's getting great height. And sometimes when you do, you fall back a little bit. But he has the presence of mind to do the triple toe after.
Now he needs 127.33 in the free skate to beat Sandhu, who had one of his best performances in memory, one of the worst in memory for Buttle. Program components are good, over 73. 120, no, that's not going to do it. 126.66, that's awfully close, though. A little more than 0.6 of a point. And Jeffrey Buttle, who had a lead of 12.5 points over Sandhu after the short, not anymore. Emmanuel Sandhu is your current leader. So the Canadians are done, the Americans still to come, including John Weir, but Sandhu's happy now.
Good luck with your skating in Newfoundland. God bless your little hearts. God love your cotton socks. You're watching ESPN.
Got my cotton socks on, eh? Yeah, they get ESPN up here north of the border. There's your leader, Emmanuel Sandhu, but the Americans still to come, including Matt Savoy, 25 years of age from Peoria, Illinois, in 4th place after the short program, a little more than 10 points behind.
Matt starts right off with a triple loop here. Oh, fall. That is the worst way to start a program. This is a very dramatic program to Yo-Yo Ma's version of several different pieces from Ennio Morricone, choreographed by Tom Dixon. Triple axel, triple toe. Got right back in the saddle. That was good. That is a very contained skater. He also has his master's in urban planning, a very smart guy.
He just received that master's from the University of Illinois after graduating from Bradley with a BA in political science, minor in biology, wants to keep going to school, attend law school, get a career in law and urban planning.
Interesting transitions into this triple Salchow, using split jumps, spread eagles.
Matt has had knee injuries in the past with all the wear and tear of skating throughout the years. Only skated in one Grand Prix event last year, Cup of China, and did not skate well. He came in 8th. 2001 was the last time he made the Grand Prix final, and he was the bronze medalist that year.
Having a hard time holding it together on that footwork. Seems to be tiring just a bit. So much respect for the skaters these days and what they have to go through just to put the elements out there, and they're trying these difficult entrances into these spins like that butterfly. You can never let your head up. Spiral into triplets. Very solid landing there. It's going to be a tough battle this year in St. Louis at the U.S. Nationals for spots on the Olympic team between Johnny Weir, Timothy Gable, Matt Savoy, Ryan Yonke. There's no clear team yet.
Evan Lysacek also in the mix there.
Absolutely. So a fall on the first triple loop did not help, but some solid landings here and there. I think it's just a matter of the beginning of the season, working those kinks out.
Sandhu leads, Buttle's behind him. It was a disaster for him, and he's with Peter Carruthers.
Jeff, tell us what happened with the pants splitting open in the cut.
Well, actually, I stepped out of a Lutz sort of near the end of the program and got my heel stuck in, well, my leg really, more so than my costume. So took a little gash out of my leg and, ripped my costume. I was trying to recover from that, but I guess it's the first time that's happened, that's for sure. So I think maybe, I'll have to regroup next time and do better.
Coming in as the world silver medalist skating in your home country, extra pressure?
No, I don't think so. I didn't feel the extra pressure out there at all. I think really it was just a matter of I was maybe a little bit too loose before I went out. Sometimes I like to feel a little bit not quite warm. I don't know, sometimes it makes me feel a little bit weak. So next time I go on the ice, I want to just make sure that I'm stronger.
All right, well, get that sewn up and take care of your leg.
Yeah, will do. Thanks.
Thank you.
Johnny Weir, the two-time U.S. champion, will take the ice next. Two Canadian men at the top. Can the American get there when we come back to St. John's, Newfoundland? The home team has the lead so far. It was one of Emmanuel Sandhu's most memorable performances. He's in first. So too for Buttle, but memorable for a different reason. He'll visit the seamstress to fix that costume. But it was the young 18-year-old who maybe was the most impressive so far. Nobunari Oda from Japan, currently in third place, a big leap from the short program to the free skate. So that's where we stand. The two-time U.S. champ, Johnny Weir, set to go. And as always for Weir, he's got plenty on his mind, and he's not afraid to say it.
Over the past 2 seasons, I think I've shown that I'm very different from my American counterparts. I don't say the right things every time, and I don't wear the right things to skate to the right music. I think people expect me to stand out from the crowd. I hate watching men skating. I think it's so boring. A lot of the men look the same. I don't think I look the same as the other guys, and I'm sure the other guys think they look completely different from everyone else. The sport and the art of figure skating really is becoming a game. And I'm disappointed in that. Not that I'm saying the new judging system should be scrapped, but I think if you have exceptional music or exceptional choreography, you're rewarded for that, and not just for putting 75% of your jumps after 2.5 minutes. I think it shows weakness if you don't go all out every competition. So hopefully it's not just me and everybody brings their best game for the Grand Prix this year and doesn't worry about getting tired out before Nationals and the Olympics. It'd be really cool to be Olympic champion, but I've always held the World Championships in higher regard because it's difficult to compete at something every year as opposed to just every 4 years when someone may get lucky. I don't have anything to hide. If I want to wear this or be this way, say that, then that's what I'm going to do. It's not a toss-up for me. I don't want to be safe just to make people happy. I want to be myself, and maybe someone will say, wow, that's cool.
Johnny Weir.
Whether you like him or not, whether you agree with him or not, he always does have an opinion, and he's not afraid to state that opinion. Sandhu and Buttle on top, and then Oda, your top three. But here's Weir, the 21-year-old, in second place after the short program, and a little less than 4.5 points behind Jeffrey Buttle after the short.
He has a tough program, triple axel, triple toe loop, his hardest element, no quad, 8 triples planned. Very original spins, complex footwork, quite musical, but I think he needs a quad for the Olympics in Torino.
By the way, after a disappointing free skate, Matt Savoy has 100 181.73 points, and he is currently in 5th.
Weir's quad would go right here. He'll make it a triple. At last year's Worlds, he had a left foot injury, and he's been a bit unsettled this season because the U.S. figure skating told him that he needed to boost his elements after Tarasova choreographed this program. That was supposed to be a triple axel, turned it into a single.
That may be why he's now voicing his displeasure with the new scoring system.
Yeah, it served him well last year on the Grand Prix. Tonneau variation on that second jump and a 3-jump combination. Looks to be wobbling a bit in these spins, which is not characteristic. Johnny has incredible edge quality across the ice. Great ride out of his jumps usually. Taking a nice rest here to prepare for a second attempt at a triple axel. Two-footed, landing on that triple axel. Just not quite there yet. Triple loop fall. This is just not Johnny Weir. He wasn't missing triple loops or any of this last year. I wonder if something is wrong. Here in his circular step, you can see one of his strengths, difficult positions in these footwork, the transitions, and it looks like he's giving up here. It's his shades of the Dallas Nationals in 2003.
And Paul, he's continuing through here, but he's definitely off. But he's been a bit off to start the year.
That's
There's
right.
been a couple of unofficial events, and he's come in 4th, and not at all skated like the Johnny Weir that we've become accustomed to watching. Oh, wow. That was supposed to be a jump. There's no doubt about it. And right now, if it's an injury of some sort, no matter what's bothering him, he's certainly off. Why would you continue on with your program, Paul, in this fashion?
Well, I think he's got something to prove, probably from Dallas, and he wants to show that he's not going to walk off the ice ever again. But at this point, he is marking every element. Even these spins are not his level of quality. Well, I don't really know what to say. Just...
Well, there's a bit of the answer there. He's clutching that left ankle. He's had foot problems in the past. So maybe he's injured his ankle. It looked like a practice at some point because he was skating through elements like skaters sometimes do when they're warming up or the day before in practice.
That left foot injury was what plagued him in Moscow. He's hobbling off the ice now. The single axel at the beginning started it all off. Just, you know, the triple axel that he usually does and the triple loop that he usually does, beautiful ride out. It's just not there. This is not Johnny Weir. Even in the footwork right here is when he quit. Just a little bit off balance here. Break in the program.
Yeah, and still clutching that. And we could actually hear as he came off the ice with his coach, Priscilla Hill, telling, now he's in tears, telling her that it was on the first element, the first jump, the triple toe loop.
The triple toe loop here, very, very good actually, but if it's his left foot, that's his landing foot.
Couldn't tell anything there, could you?
No, it looked fine.
Not even watching the scores right now. 131-61 to win, but that's really not the issue. 107.34. And Priscilla, longtime coach, trying to console Johnny Weir. So his total 177.59, and that's well down. That's all the way down in 7th place for the two-time American champ.
Your whole Olympic season is flashing in front of your eyes right now.
Yeah, you're right, exactly, because this is the Olympic. Everything's based on the Olympics and how you're preparing for that. And this is an image that he will remember, and we'll see it probably throughout the year, but it's Emmanuel Sandhu. That's an image that he wanted to see for a while. That battle with Jeffrey Buttle here in Canada, back and forth, losing the Canadian title, but now he's on top of Skate Canada. So here are your final results. It's Sandhu coming. Oda, the young 18-year-old, capturing the bronze medal. That's his first senior Grand Prix medal. He gets it right here in Canada. And as we break it down, look at 73.40, the program component total for Buttle. Better than Sandhu, but Sandhu much better in terms of the technical aspect of the skating. That's how he won it here at home. And right now he's standing by with Peter Carruthers.
All right, Emmanuel Sandhu, last year 7th to 1st, this year 6th to 1st. How are they different?
Oh, they sort of feel the same, honestly. I was clutching my teddy bear last year, and I was clutching my teddy bear this year, hoping for a first-place finish. But, you know, for me, it's just now training and getting that short program ready, because I know that that's sort of where I guess a little bit of my weakness lies, just the training of the short program. My long program's quite trained, because we've put the focus on that.
What is it about Emmanuel Sandhu that you can't count out in competition?
Just amazing skating, I think. Something special, I suppose. I did an exhibition with no jumps one time, and everybody complimented me. We didn't even notice you didn't do any jumps, and I think that's a real compliment. And I think that's what people really enjoy about my skating.
All right, well, congratulations on winning Skate Canada again.
Yes, thanks a lot.
All right, Peter, so let's check out the overall standings after 2 events of 6 in the Grand Prix. Daisuke Takahashi, the gold at Skate America. Sandhu wins the gold here. They both earned 12 points for their victories. Johnny Weir in tears just a few moments ago. Let's get a report on his status from Peter Carruthers right now.
I spoke with Johnny Weir's coach, Priscilla Hill, and she told me that Johnny actually sprained his ankle on the landing of the first jump, which was the triple toe loop. Now, the chief medical team has looked at Johnny here at Skate Canada. They indeed say it is a sprain, but she also said the reason he didn't stop after that fall was because he felt it reminded him too much of nationals when he hit the wall and had to withdraw. He was determined to keep going.
And Peter, exactly, he did keep going, but right now hobbling off. That will be a major storyline in men's skating throughout this Olympic season.